am saved by pure luck far too often on the weekends. I always forget that this gym closes at 6. I'm a fucking nutcase. But 4:25 now, so let's see, by the time I actually get in there, put my stuff down, get a little drink of water, get on the hamstring curl for hamstrings. Should be about probably about 4:40, maybe 4:45. That'll be the first working set. And hamstrings is pretty quick. I feel like hamstrings don't give me too much trouble in terms of getting a good pump. It really only takes me a couple of, well, not a couple, but just me sitting on the laying hamstring curl for a little while. Set after set, maybe throw some cable RDLs in, and then hamstrings are cooked. One thing which I wish I had with quads, but for hamstrings, it's very easy for me to hit failure. It's not very difficult for me to sit down on the hamstring curl and, reach a point where I'm barely doing partials of like 1 inch of movement. Somebody was bringing up that was because like your hamstrings are full of fast twitch fibers. I don't really know how that correlates to whatever else, or maybe whatever. So for me, hamstrings, I can sit down, and even with only marginal hype, I can do what I'm pretty satisfied with as a hard set. So hamstrings, I think I've got on lock. Maybe throw in a couple variations of like pause reps or half reps, like go up halfway and then finish the full rep by coming all the way up to fully bent knees, then back down, maybe some pause reps, a little bit of variation just for kicks. But hamstrings, I think I've got pretty much under wraps. I think I know what I'm doing there. But quads gives me a little bit more difficulty, partially because I think my quads are subpar relative to everything else. Not like they're small, of course, but I do want bigger quads. But I mean, come on, look at anybody. Every build could benefit from bigger legs. Unless you're an absolute freak, an absolute outlier, you could probably have some bigger quads. So I think I'm gonna try to not like lock into a different style, but I do want to make sure that my quad days do get changed up a little bit in terms of their, let's just call it basic framework. Because for a while there, I was doing 1 set of crazy heavy squats, like, we're getting up in like 500 pounds plus for 8 reps-ish, right? We're getting in there. And that was pretty much my opener. And then after that one crazy set, my quads had so much damage done that like I didn't really do much other heavy pressing. And I just moved on to leg extensions. And of course, I still felt it. And I did call that a good leg day. But I think that the heavy pressing like that, even with the high reps, I think just trying to do it that intensely maybe is not the answer. Because I don't need stronger legs. I need bigger legs. So in that sense, I think that the weight isn't the vector which I need to really push to make my quad days more effective. Because I think I could sit here and if I made every quad day like a power building style, go for crazy weight, I think I could bust out some pretty insane squat numbers. But I think I could get to a point where I'm squatting like, X amount of weight, a crazy amount, and I don't think it would do my quads any good size-wise. So I think for quads, I was saying this last leg day too, I need to bias some more, maybe not higher rep per se, but some more endurance-based pressing sets. So rather than just do one gnarly set of squats like that, which I probably will still throw in every so often just because I like it, and it is a different kind of stimulus, it's a totally different set. But I think rather than that crazy set in the beginning, I was just saying this a couple of weeks ago, how I liked doing squats after I had already sort of like pre-exhausted my quads on leg extensions. So I think that's going to be the framework I follow today. So hamstrings, finish that first, get it out of the way. And then quads, which I would kind of call the hard part of the lift, Not that hamstrings isn't, but you get what I'm saying. Quads, probably a couple sets on the leg extension, to the point where honestly I feel pretty pumped as well as fatigued. And then I think I'll go park by the squat rack and just make use of probably, I'm not sure if I want to do the 3 or the 4 plate range. I don't know. Part of me kind of likes the sound of trying to do a 3 plate set, just AMRAP, but then that gets into a problem with me where if I'm doing the squatting set and the reps are getting in the 20 plus range, then I'm a little bit more prone to rack it, just because it turns into a bit of a marathon. That's kind of why I like squatting heavy, because it's easy for me to hit failure. If you tell me to do squats with a weight where I'm going to fail at 8 reps, I can do that pretty comfortably. Obviously, you know, I look like I'm dying. I got a freaking bazillion pounds on my back, and I'm like, but you know, if you tell me to do 315 for like 30 reps, especially after kind of already having a quad pump from being pre-exhausted on leg extensions, that's a hard set. But I think that's maybe a situation where it's sort of like, you know, the goal that you seek or the prize that you're seeking is in the work that you're not doing, or it's in the work that you're avoiding. So that kind of makes me think I should just go for the higher reps. But again, I'm kind of getting into like real marginal details here. No matter what your leg day looks like, if you're a leg press fanatic, or if you just love sitting down on a leg extension and camping out there, no matter what you do, as long as your sets are hard, you load up your quads with a good amount of weight, you finish with a gnarly pump to the point where even just doing like a body weight squat, your quads almost don't even want to bend, then you had a good leg day. You know, I'm just trying to get into the nitty gritty, just the teeny little details to improve the muscular stimulation and in turn the muscular growth. Because you know, I like these pants, but I don't want to fit in them. I do not want to fit my quads in them, right? I want to get, whoa, oh my goodness. Imagine like the largest pair of 80s parachute pants you can think of. I want those to be tight. Now, will I reach that level? It does not matter, right? No matter where your goal is in terms of its height or how delusional it may seem, you still gotta aim for it and figure out whether or not you'll get there later. So let's just get in there and get started. A little bit of a time crunch, just a little. I probably would have preferred to get here at like 3:30, but I did my cardio late, and we went to my sister's house to make Christmas cookies. I didn't do any baking, but I was prepping boxes like the dude sitting in the back of a Pizza Hut. But enough of that. Let's just get in there. All right, hamstrings stimulated, quads very well stimulated, calves did not hit them tonight, but I hit them earlier today because I am gonna start doing my calves after my cardio. So not fasted cardio. Not fasted. If I was fasted for the cardio, I probably would not, well, not even probably, I would not want to hit calves afterwards. I want to get home and eat some food. But if I have a pretty nice big meal pre-cardio, I don't mind throwing calves in. And honestly, it's probably only a negligible, not negligible, but probably a minimal difference. I still get a pretty gnarly calf pump. It doesn't, it's not so demanding on my preparation for me to have a good calf lift. Like, if I'm not super well rested or well fed and hydrated, then I am gonna feel it on a chest day. I'm gonna feel it on an arm day, and most definitely on a fucking leg day for sure. But for calves, just kind of sit down on the calf raise, bust them out. Your calves are tough. They're tough muscle. You're walking on them all the time. So following that bro science logic and kind of an old school approach, since you're using them all the time, you've got to kind of stimulate them in a way in which they're actually going to respond, you know? So if they're tough, then if you get a calf pump one day and you do a good calf day, assuming you actually hit calves regularly, your calves are probably not going to be on fire sore the day after that. Really, I think they're probably ready to be trained again. Maybe they'll be a little sore. I'll still get that. So my approach for calves, which I recommend this to anybody. If they're not sore, 5 or 6 sets hard, maybe even less than that. But, you know, if they're not sore, lift some weight, put some tension on them, finish with a pump. I think that is going to add up to some calf growth. That's my little piece of calf advice for you. But tomorrow's going to be chest day, which I am pretty freaking excited about. I think I might go to a different gym. Might go to, I don't know where, maybe Metro, because it has been a while since I've done hammer strength press, and I love hammer strength press. I would say that I want to do some incline dumbbell there, but I don't really love the benches. For me, the benches at that gym are just, they're not a perfect fit for me. And when I do incline dumbbell on them, I feel a little bit unstable. And if I'm going to be loading up, I mean, like more than, we're getting up to like 150 pounds ish. I want to be 100%, what's the word I'm trying to think of? 100% confident in the setup that I'm doing that on. You know, so if there's a bench that's a little finicky and I don't really love the shape of it, it kind of just doesn't fit my back, or I feel like my butt's going to slip out of it, then I feel like if I were to try to push a lot of weight on something like that, then I'm kind of asking for trouble. You know, so don't just blindly trust the machines and the equipment that you're using. As you're running around the gym and you're all amped up, you want to get some hard sets in. Make sure everything's set up right. I've used some machines where I've done a warm-up set or whatever, and then I actually kind of take a look at it. And I've used this one like squat machine before, and the whole thing is like all the tension is kind of transferred through some pulleys into just one cable that's connected to the weight stack, and it looked like that cable was going to snap at any moment. Some of the wires were frayed and coming off, and if I were to try to go for like the whole stack there, I think it would just result in some freaking trouble. I'd probably do one rep, get to the bottom, and then the action of getting to the bottom of a rep and then changing the weight's momentum. You know, like if you were to put 2 miniature bathroom scales on my hands, right, or 2 force readouts while I'm doing bench, the weight or the amount of force into my hands is going to be the most at the bottom when I switch directions, because that's the point in which I'm accelerating the weight from coming to back up. So I feel like if I tried to go for the, at least not even the whole stack, maybe just a heavy weight on that machine with the frayed cable, I'd get to the bottom of the rep, and then as I'm kind of switching to you know, from the negative portion to the positive, I feel like the cable would fucking snap and I'd launch myself up into the I don't even know, aka, let's just kind of bullet point it, bad situation. So make sure you kind of have the foresight to predict if whatever you're doing is potentially a problem. You know, one thing that kind of gets me there is seeing people squat with just socks. Oh my goodness, not good. Not freaking good. I mean, that can be a pretty severe situation. Let's say you combine squatting with socks on like a, you know, kind of a basketball floor style pad in the squat rack, plus no safeties. Oh, God, getting the heebie-jeebies, man. Right? That is not, come on, right? You've got this 15-pound thing surrounded by your skull, right? It's called your brain. You got to make sure you use it. So, other than that, I kind of got nothing else to say. School's done. It's almost Christmas time. It's going to start getting nice and snowy around here. Well, actually, I don't know. The weather's been getting weird, man. Fucking global warming style. It's not even really becoming winter until like February. When I was a kid, we had a snowy Christmas in Ohio. It was snowing in December. Shit is getting crazy. Now, will it affect the pump? No, not really. Unless the weather gets so severe that you can't make it to the gym, then I guess that could affect the pump. But for the most part, rain, shine, snow, storm, the lift is happening. Even in severe situations. I've definitely gone onto the roads when probably wasn't the best idea just to make it to the gym. Last winter, it was brutal. They couldn't even get the plows out in time, so it was rough. If you tried a quick turn, you could fucking spin out. But me and little bro, Mark, we're getting out there. We're headed to the fucking Y. We called in ahead, And they must have had somebody who lived like right across the street make it in to be able to open it up. So we're like, if they're open, then we're coming. Drive over there, had a badass back day, came home and put our maybe not matching PJs on, but got nice and cozy and just hung out. So simple life for the next 4 weeks. Well, I've got an online class, but that's not that hard. Apart from that, this is nice. This is conducive with gains. Go home, hang out with the parents, see my dog, see the cat. Dude, my cat he's kind of, let's just say he's irritable. He's in his, I was kind of asking for trouble. So he was inside of his crate, and I took him out of his safe space, and I was petting him. He was getting mad. So I had to put him back. I upset the beast, Mr. Oliver, named after the infamous biscuit Oliver, if you know what I'm saying there. Not much of a resemblance, though, because the cat's white, but you get the idea. So, what am I going to eat? I'm not sure. Probably a variety of sweets, cookies. My sister just baked a ton of them. I talked about it on the way here. Those are going to be nice. Freaking go Santa mode on this bulk plate of cookies and milk. That's all I got, man. Make sure you get some good lifts in. Food should no longer be an issue, right? Christmas time, the holidays, that's when people talk about, oh crap, I put on a couple pounds. That should be you, man, but not in the way that most people would think, right? We're talking lean tissue. Even if you got to add a little bit of fat on top of it, we want to deposit some serious beef onto our frames, the likes of which, once we cut down and reveal, will be freaking awe-inspiring, ideally borderline godlike, but you get the idea. Keep the grind going. Don't consider this a break from whatever kind of responsibilities you've got going on. Actually, I guess if you're a working man, then you're kind of screwed. I think I'm kind of targeting the younger demographic who's still in high school or college, where this actually is a bit of a break. Make use of it. Get your meals down. Train hard. Hell, man, you've got at least a few weeks of doing basically nothing. Do a 2 a day, man. Get in the gym in the morning and do your cardio. I know you've been putting that off, and you should know that I know that. Right? Don't think you get a pass just because I don't actually get to look at you and see your situation. Right? I'm basing this off of cold, hard data and statistics. You should get your cardio going. But that's all I got, man. I'll see you next time.